Welcome, dear listeners. Imagine a quiet hike through the wilderness, the crisp air filled with nothing but the rustle of leaves and the distant chirp of birds. Now picture stumbling upon something completely unexpected, a sight so strange it stops you in your tracks. This is exactly what happened to a group of hikers on an ordinary trail. What they found not only defied explanation, but also carried an eerie call for help that would change their journey forever. Stay with us as we unravel this gripping tale of mystery, discovery, and the unlikeliest of twists. Hikers stumble upon a massive nest. Then they hear, "Help me!" While exploring a rarely trodden trail, a group of hikers was taken aback by an unusual sight, a massive structure resembling a nest nestled in a clearing. It was an oddity, far too large and complex to be the work of any known animal. As they approached, the quiet of the bushland was pierced by a faint human voice from within the nest. "Help me!" This startling discovery quickly turned their leisurely hike into a rescue mission. But before we start, smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our upcoming stories. Corey, Alex, Hannah, and Mila, each a silhouette against the dim morning sky, gathered at the trailhead. Their breaths, visible in the cool air, mingled with the gentle hues of dawn. The excitement for their monthly tradition was palpable as they checked their gear, ready for the day's adventure. "This way," Mila announced, pointing towards a less trodden path that snaked through dry bushland. Her choice sparked a mix of reactions. With the first light of the sun casting a golden glow over the landscape, the group set off. The path ahead wound through gently rolling hills, bordered by the untamed beauty of the bushland. The early light seemed to promise new discoveries, urging them forward into the day's embrace. As they hiked, the friends chatted, their voices weaving through the crisp morning air. Mila, leading the group, often glanced back, ensuring her friends were enjoying the trail. She shared anecdotes about the bushland, trying to keep spirits high and validate her choice of the less traveled path. Gradually, the unique beauty of the bushland began to reveal itself. Sunlight filtered through sparse trees, casting dappled patterns on the ground. "It's different but beautiful," Hannah conceded, her initial doubts fading. The others nodded in agreement, their early hesitations giving way to an appreciation of Mila's choice. "Look at that view," Mila exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement as she pointed towards a distant ridge bathed in sunlight. Mila took the lead, pointing out various birds and small animals that darted through the underbrush, adding a sense of wonder to their journey. As they walked, the group fondly reminisced about their past hikes. "Remember the waterfall we found last summer?" Alex said with a nostalgic smile. Each memory brought laughter and a deeper sense of connection. Comparing this unique trail to their past adventures, they realized how every hike had its own charm and set of surprises. The tranquility of the bushland began to envelop them. The usual sounds of a dense forest were absent, replaced by a serene quietude that seemed almost otherworldly. The simplicity of the trail offered a refreshing change. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the landscape transformed. Shadows shortened, and the bushland seemed to awaken fully. The group paused frequently, captivated by the stunning vistas and the vivid colors of the awakening day. With each step, their sense of adventure deepened. The unspoiled nature of the trail, with its hidden nooks and uncharted paths, beckoned them to explore further. Corey, who had been scanning the horizon, suddenly halted. "Do you see that?" he asked, pointing towards a peculiar shape in the distance. Driven by curiosity, they agreed to detour towards the mysterious shape. With each step, the structure grew clearer, yet its nature remained elusive. Could it be some sort of giant nest? As they neared, the size and complexity of the nest became more apparent. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, a labyrinth of branches and materials intricately woven together. The group paused, absorbing the sight. The oddity of the structure stirred a mix of awe and uncertainty in their hearts. The nest, now a focal point of their hike, ignited a torrent of questions and hypotheses. What if it's some kind of art installation or maybe a shelter? Mila pondered, her gaze locked on the enigmatic formation. Their conversation bubbled with excitement and wonder, the mystery of the nest binding them in a shared quest for answers. The group reached the base of the nest, instantly taken aback by its monumental size and the intricate detail of its construction. It towered over them, a tangle of branches and unknown materials, clearly not the work of any known animal. They circled the structure in awe, trying to make sense of its presence in the middle of the bushland. Theories abounded among them, from human artifice to unknown natural phenomena, but no definitive conclusion could be reached. Mila stepped forward, her hand reaching out to touch the mysterious structure. "Wait, Mila," Hannah called out, a note of worry in her voice. "We don't know what it is or if it's safe." Mila hesitated, her hand hovering in the air, torn between curiosity and the concern in Hannah's voice. A hush fell over the group as they contemplated the nest's potential dangers. The atmosphere grew tense with unspoken fears and questions. What lay within this enigmatic structure? Could it be hazardous? Hannah's expression mirrored the unease that had begun to take root in each of them. The thrill of discovery was now tinged with a hint of dread. They were about to step back and continue their hike when Mila froze, her head tilting in a listening pose. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. The others paused, straining their ears. From within the depths of the nest, a faint, almost imperceptible voice emerged, murmuring, "Help me." The words hung in the air, ethereal and chilling, anchoring them to the spot in a mix of astonishment and apprehension. "I'm sure of it. There's someone in there," Mila insisted, her eyes wide with fear and determination. The group huddled in silence, straining to hear. "It's probably just the wind," Alex suggested. "Or an animal," Corey added, though his tone lacked confidence. Despite their doubts, curiosity crept in. Then the voice came again, clearer. "Help me!" The unmistakable human plea sent a shiver through the group. Concern quickly replaced their intrigue. "We can't just leave them," Mila urged, her voice tinged with urgency. The group exchanged glances, each face reflecting a mix of fear and resolve. The fun of their hike had been replaced by a sobering sense of responsibility. Nodding in agreement, they approached the nest with a new purpose. Initial trepidation gave way to a collective determination to uncover the truth and, if needed, perform a rescue. The group circled the massive nest, probing for any gap or entrance. Their hands brushed over the rough surface, pushing aside twigs and leaves, but the nest's construction was dense and impenetrable. Frustration began to mount as they realized that the structure offered no obvious way in. As they searched, faint whispers emanated intermittently from the nest. These ethereal voices seemed to be calling directly to them, urging them to quicken their efforts. The air around the nest thrummed with a mysterious energy, amplifying the urgency of their mission and deepening the enigma. Gathering around, the friends began to discuss potential strategies to breach the nest. "We could try to dismantle it piece by piece," Corey suggested, though he sounded unsure. "But what if that harms whoever's inside?" Hannah countered, her concern evident. They weighed their options carefully, aware of the risks involved in disturbing the nest's intricate structure. Mila, reflecting on a past experience where she had helped rescue an injured animal, felt a surge of determination. Her conviction resonated with the group, reminding them of the potential human life at stake and the importance of their actions. Despite Mila's determination, differing opinions on how to proceed began to emerge. Alex voiced concerns about the structural integrity of the nest, while Corey pondered the possibility of seeking external help. The group found themselves at a crossroads, with the tension of the situation sparking a mild but palpable divide in their previously unified front. Mila, sensing the growing apprehension among her friends, stepped forward. "We can't hesitate now," she said firmly. Her confidence seemed to radiate, bolstering the group's morale. She began to organize their efforts, assigning tasks and encouraging her friends. Her leadership brought a sense of structure and focus to their rescue attempt, galvanizing the group into action. After much discussion, they agreed on a cautious yet decisive plan. They would start by gently removing parts of the nest's outer layer, working carefully to avoid causing any potential harm. Each member of the group took a position around the nest, ready to begin the delicate process. With a shared look of determination, they started to dismantle the nest piece by piece, committed to uncovering the mystery within. With a sense of caution and respect for the unknown, the group began their exploration of the nest. They worked methodically, gently pulling apart the outer layers. Their movements were careful to avoid causing any damage. The task required a delicate balance of urgency and care, as they were acutely aware of the potential risks involved in their endeavor. As they delved deeper, the complexity of the nest's construction became increasingly apparent. It was a marvel of natural architecture, with layers upon layers intricately woven together. The craftsmanship was such that it was hard to believe it was not the work of human hands. Occasionally, faint voices would drift out from the depths of the nest, each plea acting as a spur to their efforts. The voices, though weak, were clear enough to confirm the presence of life within. This realization renewed their sense of purpose, driving them to work with even greater determination. Despite their persistent efforts, the nest's core remained elusive. The dense weave of material seemed almost impenetrable, resisting their attempts to create an opening. Frustration began to mount among the group as the task proved more daunting than they had anticipated. The challenge of reaching whoever was inside without causing harm was testing their patience and resolve. Corey, observing their limited progress, proposed a new idea. "Maybe we should split up," he suggested. "Some of us could go back for better tools. We need something more effective if we're going to get through this." His proposal sparked a discussion as they weighed the risks of splitting the group against the potential benefits of having more suitable equipment. After much deliberation, a consensus was reached. Despite their reservations, they recognized the necessity of having the right equipment to safely penetrate the nest. After a final round of hasty preparations, Corey and Alex set off back down the trail. Their steps were quick, driven by the urgency of their task. Hannah and Mila watched them disappear into the bushland, a mix of anxiety and resolve settling over them as they turned their attention back to the nest. Alex unfolded his small pocket knife and began to carefully cut into the outer layer of the nest. The task was daunting. The knife seemed almost insignificant against the nest's formidable structure. He applied force, but the dense weave of branches and materials resisted his efforts, highlighting the inadequacy of their tools. Recognizing Alex's struggle, the others took turns, each trying their hand at making a breakthrough. Mila worked with persistence, her fingers deftly maneuvering the small blade. Hannah followed her efforts, equally earnest. Yet, despite their collective determination, the progress was frustratingly minimal. The nest's resilience, a formidable barrier to their rescue mission. Corey, observing the futility of their efforts, voiced a growing realization. "This might be more than just a physical barrier," he said thoughtfully. "There could be something more complex at play here." His words hung in the air, prompting the group to consider the possibility that they were dealing with something far beyond a simple physical structure. As time passed, with little to show for their efforts, a shadow of despair began to fall over the group. The reality of their situation became increasingly apparent. They were ill-equipped for the magnitude of the task at hand. Their initial optimism faded into helplessness as they struggled with the nest. But after persistent effort, they made a small opening, revealing a colorful parrot inside. The bird's vibrant feathers stood out against the dark nest. To their shock, the parrot spoke, repeating the plea for help they had heard earlier. Stunned, the group realized it had been the parrot's mimicry all along. Mila gently cradled the bird in her hands, ensuring it was not harmed. They knew they needed to take it to a wildlife shelter, where it could receive proper care and possibly find its way back to its rightful owner. With the parrot safely in Mila's backpack, they retraced their steps, discussing the day's events. Upon finding cell service, they contacted local wildlife authorities, who requested the parrot be brought to a nearby shelter. The staff there were amazed by its mimicry and, after inspecting its leg ring, discovered the parrot had an owner. Once the parrot's registration details were confirmed, the shelter staff immediately reached out to the owner. The owner, overwhelmed with joy, arrived to reunite with the lost pet, sharing how it had escaped weeks earlier. Reporters soon arrived, intrigued by the hiker's unique story of rescuing a bird they had mistaken for a human in distress. As the day ended, the group reflected on their adventure, grateful for the mysteries of nature and ready to explore more. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable tale like this one.